Hello, it is me, Anime Weirdway Anime. I'm here to bring you part 3 of my Every Other Saturday series. I will say this now, we are skipping over a few arcs. We're skipping over the training camp. Because I've realized it would be mostly just training. And he would end up in a fight, but it would be like over in 5 seconds. Okay? I will say this, Ragdoll, I'm making Ragdoll keep her quirk. That is the one thing I will do. Okay. Ragdoll still has her quirk because of Izuku. I'm gonna do a quick rundown, okay, of the training camp. The next 2 arcs within My Hero, of where Izuku is semi-big part, Melissa takes care of the hideout arc where she goes and tries to save Bakugo with her entire team. Well, with Izuku's entire team in canon, okay? And then Provisional License, Izuku already has his, so there's no need to go over that. So I'm gonna skip to the hideout. Right. Even though Izuku is part of Endeavor's agency, I'm gonna still have him part of this. Okay. Let me get a drink of water and then I'll continue on the explanation. Okay, so how Izuku got into the raid group of the Shihei Hassaikai group is he was called. Okay, it's a simple pick up your phone and call type deal. First, Night Eye talked to Endeavor, which Endeavor approved of this at first, and then Night Eye got to talk to Izuku about this, which Izuku would agree to, and they would meet up for that meeting they would have. They would have the meeting, right? They would know. These people would be a part of it for their own reasons. Same people as in canon. Melissa instead of Izuku, though. Okay. Sorry. I still have a stuffed up nose. And plus, I'm in a different recording place. So, yeah. Alright. So, after the meeting, they would have a few days to prepare. Because by that point, they would already have found the Shihei Hasaikai's base. Okay. They already found it. And they would be ready. Izuku has yet to change his hero suit. So, into that one. He's keeping this current one. Okay. Okay, he's still in his same hero suit. Anyways, the officer with the megaphone would yell out to the people inside the courtyard about they have a warrant and that they're coming in. Okay. They're coming in to... Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. They have a warrant to search their residence, so yeah. Izuku would already have his sword drawn, unsheathed, okay? he would start running to the front as the monstrous man, I forget the name of, would come through the wall, right? Izuku would be in the air to use injection shot. He would be in front of him as the big guy would reel his fist back. Izuku would throw a marble to the side to be in where his torso is. Well, not his, like Izuku's, but the big guy's torso. He would bring back his sword and then fire. Like a pew-pew, but not really. The sword would extend through the big guy, okay? It would just go, just straight through. He would stop for a second, look down, see a sword or whatever it was. He doesn't, like, it would be through him. And then he would look in front to see the guy who did it. He would grip the sword, rip it out of him, throw him in the air, and then grab it again and then slam Midoriya on the ground. Then Ryuku would start brawling with this massive man, okay? Izuku would stand up. He would say, "That hurt like shit." Okay, time to get in. He would make the room bigger as he would use shambles. Hold on. What was the, he also gestures with his index finger, middle finger, and thumb fingers while holding his palm forward. What? It was like this? Yeah, I think that's like it. Or shambles. Something like that. I forget. He would switch with a tree. Yeah. He would get in there, switching with another, I don't know, someone. Sorry. As he would continue in, by this point, the other heroes would already be in, okay? The main strike squad would already be in, is what I mean, okay? They would already be in, they would already start fighting. Night Eye's group would be ahead, okay? Which Izuku would be following them to see the centipede person and Bubba Girl fighting two guys. Then he would eventually make it to where everyone would be stopped. And they would be taking care of the group of three. Izuku would help by throwing a marble at a guy and making it expand. He can't do that. I'm gonna shut up. He would use tech to levitate the marble and just throw it as hard as he can. It would be like a pew-pew, right? It would go just straight into the man's shoulder, just straight through his shoulder. As the guy, that would be the guy who can switch stuff. It would be straight through his right shoulder. Right? Actually, no, he can't use tech unless he's using a room. Crap, never mind. He would just run in and he would just kick him. He would just plain out kick him in the face. Just bop. And this man would fold like a lawn chair, just going backwards, just crashing his head into the ground. Okay? Just, okay, you know what I'm saying? Then Kirishima would say, "Whoa, that was manly." I'm not gonna act like I know what it means. As he would go into the hallway first. I'll head down first and scan the area. Then Night Eye would say, "Okay, we'll be right there." And then Tamaki would say, "You guys go. I'll take care of these two." Okay. Which Aizawa would knock out the one with the eating quirk. Okay? I don't remember his name. But he would knock him out. The guy who can switch things would be already knocked out. So the only guy is the crystal quirk. Yeah, that would be the only guy left. Anyways, as Izuku would go down and down, he would use room. It would expand throughout a wide range. Okay. And then he would use X scan or scan to find shit. Sorry, I dropped my mic. Attempt to find Overhaul. And now Mirio, because he wasn't there, he would see a person's outline in one place, and then another person, two people, one shorter, one taller, and then he would find a group of five. Yeah, that group of five that would be split off from, a group of two, and then a group of three, and a single person running. Moving quite quickly. I found our people. Okay. There they are. I found them. Alright, can you switch us there? No. I mean, I guess I could, but that would be switching Mirio with somebody. And then there's a person down that way with two other people a little bit farther ahead. So, and then there's two farther down from there, closer to Mirio. Crap. Unless there's something there. Hold on. Let me make sure something. Scan. Okay. See location of. Okay, he can use it on items. Hold on. There might be stuff I can switch with. There's another group of two with that in that wall. Hold on. Let's get those two out. As he would take two marbles and he would throw them on the ground. He would use Shambles as Rampa and the force field guy would appear. And then he would say, there. Then he would use another marble to get the guy who can control walls out of the wall. Okay? There's all three. Yeah, let's fight, heroes! Ha ha ha! That would be Rampa. You'd come charging as Tamaki, Fat Gum, Tamaki, and Kirishima. Fat Gum would say, we can take care of these guys. This one. Okay. There's a clear... Wait a second. 4. There's 4 items in that room. Actually, I've always said, I'm gonna do something. Wish you luck, Tamaki, Kirishima, Fat Gum. Shambles! As the force field guy, Rampa, and Fat Gum's agency would switch with rubble. Multiple rocks, divoting in size. Night Eye would say, where did you send them? There's a room in that wall. Send them in there. And Aizawa already canceled the guy who can controls walls quirks. Somebody already grabbed him. Rocklock already grabbed him in handcuffs already. Well, that was way easier than I expected. Hold on. X-scan. Okay. Wait, no. Yeah, Tamaki probably already caught up by then. That's why he was in there. He was able to go with them. He already caught up. Okay. I'll be right back. Shambles. He would switch places with a rock, and then he would switch back. I set marbles in front. Shambles. As the entire pack of people, they're multiple police officers, the guy with the warrant, the heroes would be transported far, like where the drunk guy and the confession guy would be. Like a little bit before they would meet them, Mirio, they would actually be in front of Mirio. Mirio would run up to them, behind them, saying, wait, how did you all get here so quick? Sup. And plus there's 2 others. But they're already running, so I'm guessing they might have accomplices, but I'm not going to worry. There's 2 guys in front of us. Hold on. No, what the hell? How was there? Now there's 3. Hold on. They're moving quickly up into the... They're moving quick. Way too quick. Shit. They're already on the surface. They're out of range. I didn't know who they were. I'm not gonna risk it. Anyways, there's 2 people in front of us. Shall we get moving? Yeah, let's go. Now with everybody there, Mirio, Melissa, Night Eye, Eraser, Izuku, officers, these people would continue through this area, meeting the confession quirk user and the drunken, whatever that guy is. Okay, but he would be up on the roof, like in the ceiling, which Izuku would already been able to find out because of his scanning ability. Okay, he would already find out. So he would throw marble at the guy's head, breaking the bottle he was drinking out of. Right. Hey, that was mine. Yeah, and I don't care. He would jump up in the air, take his sword butt end up, like the hilt up, knocking this guy in the head. He would fall to the ground. The confession guy would be there by himself. Power! Yeah. Mirio would take him out easily. Just one shot. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Then they continue. Eventually finding Overhaul Chrono. and Eri. Well, here comes my plan, and hopefully it works. Room! Wait, no, the room's already up. Severance! Overhaul's hands would be off of his body as people would run up, just Mirio would hit Overhaul, right? Well, him and Melissa would hit Overhaul at the same time, saying their own respective moves. Power for Mirio, and he would yell power, and for Melissa, Detroit Smash or Delaware Smash, one of the two. St. Louis, sure, whatever. He would be blown back, hitting a wall, crashing down. Chronostasis would be taken out by, Aizawa and Night Eye. That's his name. Night Eye. This was too easy. You all messed with my plans. You really think? My hands, I can still feel them. I will win. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. What? Mess! Yeah, he would take Overhaul's heart. As he would say, yeah, I wouldn't recommend using anything of yours unless you want your heart here to end up on the ground out of this casing that's keeping you alive. What? No. How could you mess with my plan? Blah, 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 blah. Because I'm a hero, idiot. I'm here to do my job. And I guess that job was taking you out. Saving, whoever this was. Pointing at Eri. You're making a big mistake, hero. A big mistake. I make those all the time. They don't end out that bad, honestly. I said I would go on a date with a friend. Yeah, she didn't really care. I'm pretty sure she's forgotten. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. What the hell? As he would turn around, someone would be behind him. Nobody noticed. But a knife would go into Izuku's back. And then he would be hit in the back of the head as the severance would deactivate. Overhaul's hand would go back to, his hands. As Toga and Twice would be there. But immediately they would be hit like bad, and then a portal would open. They would step through and they would be able to escape. Overhaul, though, he's doing some work. Rocklock would grab Izuku and jump back out of the way. Izuku would say, "They severed my spine. What do you want me to do? I need you to stall for time and get me my hands moving. Somehow I can't feel anything." Okay, that hurts. Aizawa would be canceling Overhaul's quirk, so Overhaul is just going hand to hand. He's not a slouch, I've realized. I thought he was only like a quirk-focused guy, but no, he's actively not a slouch in hand-to-hand combat, I've realized. after rewatching the Shihei Hasekai arc, because even with his quirk erased, bro was throwing hands. At least I'm decently sure. I'm already past it. It's been like a week since I watched it. Oh god. Anyways, but you get my point. He's not a slouch. He would be throwing hands. Aizawa would be beside, well, he would hang back for a second, asking about Midoriya. Rocklock, what happened? Those crazy guys severed his spine. What? Yeah, I don't like it either. He just needs his hands on his back, so he... Yep. Okay. Yep, there it is. Come on. Room. The room would be, just being able to cover his entire body, as he would then split his body in different ways to come back around and ask Rocklock to use Deadbolt to lock his, the separated spine, how they severed it, lock it back together, which would somehow work, mostly because of plot armor. Yeah. Izuku would be able to walk again until he would be able to do something better and actually fix it himself. This is the best he can do for now. Okay. The wound is still open, but I can live with that. I can just rip off the sleeve and there. He would tie his sleeve that he just ripped off his costume around him to deal with the opened wound on his back. As he would do that, he would be able to get back in action, and then he would deal with Overhaul very quickly. First, he would use Curtain in front of Melissa, who was about to get hit by Overhaul. Then the blue transparent curtain, I guess, would be hit by Overhaul, doing nothing. Overhaul would say, "I thought they dealt with you. Yeah, I'm a hard guy to get rid of." As he would then, in his hand, he would be a short blade of energy, as he would say, "Gamma knife." He would poke a very heavy poke to Overhaul with this energy blade. This, as it would enter, it would start to what would happen is, you know how your internal organs run your entire body? Yeah, he would destroy those, and Overhaul would be defeated in a matter of seconds. Not seconds, but quite easily, because you kind of have a guy with a very overpowered quirk / devil fruit, and you get this. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go run to the toilet because I gotta use it badly. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. I thank you all for watching. Part 3 of my Every Other Saturday series. I thank you very much. I'm gonna go now. Hope you all enjoyed. It's been me, Anime Wheat, and I hope you all have a great afternoon, whatever, and whatever else for the rest of your day. Anyways,
I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, night, afternoon, or night, morning. That's the other one. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Roll the dice. Bye.